joining us today. I am Ian Burrows, a Hawken School 7th grade student and a member of the American Garden History Committee. The Hawken School classes of 2014, 15, 16, and 17 are honored to have you join us today for this community celebration. Today, we rededicate the 1935 Mark Twain bust, originally sculpted and cast by the artist Frank Roche, to the American Cultural Gardens and the Cleveland community. For the last 4 years, the Hawken School 7th graders have committed over 3,000 service hours as steward of the garden and have conducted scientific research. I'd like to ask Mr. Matthew Young, interim director of the middle school, Katie Zuccaro, class of 2016, and current 7th grader Egypt Ali, to share the path of this bus back into the garden.
Fall, we have a beautiful day for this. We really lucked out, and this is a great community event. And I use that word community specifically because 4 years ago, when we first started engaging with the garden here as early delegates, the students in that first class came to me and they said, "Hey, Mr. Young, the only way we're going to do a good job as gardeners down there is to get to know the neighbors, to get to know the community." And really, this bus represents a 4-year path that we've taken to build relationships here in this town and in this neighborhood and along this special green corridor of Rockefeller Park. So it's a great day to celebrate. I want to, in recognizing that community relationship, I want to introduce and welcome Councilman Jeff Johnson from Ward 8 to welcome us here today.
Let me say to everyone on behalf of the community, welcome to Ward 8. Let me acknowledge also my K-8 school, Michael R. White, which actually is across the street from my house. They're right here. They've come over to share this. Wonderful students from Michael R. White. And to all the Hawken students, to all the administrators and teachers, let me just say 2 words. Thank you.
As Councilman Johnson mentioned, there's a long history to this bus that we're about to rededicate today, and it's been a wonderful path that we've taken. And to share that history with you, I'd like Katie Zuccaro to come up and tell you a little bit about the statue that stands behind it. Katie?
In May 1935, the Parent Teachers Association Council, led by a visionary civic leader, Mrs. Anna Ott, whose granddaughter Kathy is with us today, presided over the dedication of the American Cultural Garden with the help of school children, their parents, and friends. Like us, these school-age civic leaders had been busy that year collecting pennies to fund the original design and creation of a bus sculpted by Frank Roche of Mark Twain. Just 7 months later, in December of 1935, the bus that we rededicate today was unveiled on the 100th anniversary of Twain's birth. For years, Mark Twain kept watch over these grounds, reminding its many visitors of their great power the words, candor, and wit have had in the cultural and political life of our great country. But sometime the socially turbulent days of the 1960s and 1970s, the bus disappeared from the pedestal, and without the watchful eyes of Mr. Twain, the grounds upon which you stand began a slow and steady decline from their once beautiful and inspiring state. When Hawken students first arrived at the garden in 2008, after responding to a classified advertisement in the Cleveland Plain Dealer seeking a new caretaker, we quickly saw the great promise of the gardens and began tending to its plants and searching for the statues that once resided here.
Today, we finally see the restored bust back in its original home. 2 weeks ago, the art and history of art committees, of which I'm a member, worked alongside Tom Pardner of the McKay Lodge Fine Arts Conservation Laboratories as he applied a patina chemical with heat. Then, we rubbed the statue with bronze wool and water and applied a microcrystalline wax to provide a protective coating. The 7th grade will be in charge of washing the sculpture with water and applying paste and wax and buffering it each year.
From the Mark Twain Boyhood Home and Museum. Dear Hawken School students, faculty, and gathered friends, we were very pleased to learn a few weeks ago of your project to return the statue of Mark Twain to its proper place in the American Cultural Garden. Such an undertaking is never easy, and your persistent work to see this through is to be commended. The diligence is evidenced by the fact that 4 classes of students were involved.
In 1908, just 2 years before his death, Mark Twain said citizenship should be placed above everything else, even learning. We take these words to heart today as we celebrate the civic engagement of my fellow classmates and teachers. We are now ready to pull the cloak and see Mark Twain.